Welcome back. Today's case is a historical one, and frankly, it's a mess to unravel. Meet Police Sergeant Paul Hollis, formerly with Northamptonshire Police, later transferred to the Met. The allegation that back in 2006, while investigating a domestic abuse case, he started a sexual relationship with the victim. As always, we'll call her Ms. A. She says he abused his position, flirted with her, and things went further from there.
Now, before anyone says, "But that was years ago." Yeah, it was. But that doesn't mean it didn't matter. She reported it in 2023, after 17 years of silence. And let's be honest, if your abuser wore a badge, would you have spoken up right away?
The allegation that after her partner was arrested for domestic violence, Hollis called her, flirted, and started visiting. They had sex multiple times, and she says it all happened while the case was still active. She even says she told another officer about it at the time. If that's true, that's gross misconduct. Not just for Hollis, but for the officer she told, because nothing was logged. No report, no warning flag, nothing.
So, are we talking a cover-up?
Well, here's the thing. When you go back nearly 20 years, you need more than just a strong memory. You need evidence that lines up. And that's where things got wobbly. Because the dates, the people, even the house she said he lived in, none of it matched. Here's a quick example. The original domestic violence report came in July 2006, and from complaint to caution, it lasted 7 days. That's it. Hollis's involvement ended on day 3. So when Ms. A said she was in a relationship with him during the investigation, that didn't really add up.
Okay, but people do meet up and sleep together in a single night. Hell, that's what nightclubs were all about back in the day. Not saying it's right. I'm just saying it happens. So, what else did she say?
She said she visited his bungalow. Problem is, he didn't own a bungalow then. In 2006, he was living in a semi-detached. He didn't move to the bungalow until late 2007, maybe 2008. She also described a tattoo he never had, and didn't mention the big scar on his knee from surgery, which, I don't know about you, but if someone's wearing a leg brace, you notice the brace. She also named an officer, Natasha Green, who she said worked closely with Hollis and knew about the relationship. Except, Green didn't work with him back then. She didn't meet him until 2008, 2 years later. Every detail, housing, medical, HR, just fell apart under scrutiny.
So, she was lying then?
To be fair, the panel didn't say that. They said her memory might have blurred over time, but that's the problem. When it comes to something this serious, especially involving sexual misconduct, you need specifics. And unfortunately, for the complainant, too much didn't line up. The panel had no option but to dismiss the allegation. They were very clear. It wasn't that they didn't care. There just wasn't enough evidence to go on.
Okay, but let's be clear. Just because someone isn't found guilty doesn't mean nothing happened. It just means the case didn't meet the legal threshold. And if anything, this shows how hard it is to prove historical abuse, especially when officers had access to vulnerable people with no oversight. But I've got to say this too. Sometimes there's no evidence because there is no evidence. And maybe Hollis was on the wrong end of a fit-up job.
And I know there'll be people watching who'll say, "See? False accusation." But again, that's not what the panel said. They said it couldn't be proven. That's not the same as clearing him of all suspicion. There was no witch hunt against either party. The panel looked at everything and made the call.
You know what? I can't fault the panel here. There's a difference between no evidence and all the evidence pointing the other way. I think they got this one right. So, what now?
Well, P.S. Hollis is still in the job. And while I do agree with you, it leaves me with a bigger question. How many other historical cases can't be proven because time's passed, texts are gone, and witnesses have moved on?
And maybe that's why this one hits differently. Not because the panel got it wrong, I don't think they did, but because even when someone does speak up, they can't just be blindly believed. And that means sometimes, yeah, the bad guy gets away.
So, that's the case of P.S. Paul Hollis. No misconduct found, but not a clean ending either. Let us know what you think. Should there be a time limit on misconduct investigations? Or do we need better systems to hold officers accountable, even after decades? But that's all from me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.
Yeah, this was a tough one. Either a woman has been victimized and her abuser got away scot-free, or maybe one of the few good officers has been dragged in front of a panel, worried that his career was about to be tarnished or even ended. Neither outcome feels good. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more updates. Stay informed, stay aware, and remember, accountability matters.